If there's one K-drama trope that never gets old, it's the romance between a boss and a secretary. I don't know what it is about late-night overtime, awkward elevator rides, or that one accidental hand touch while passing documents, but somehow it always works. Today, we're talking about 8 Korean dramas that revolve around this exact dynamic. And trust me, some of them will make you laugh, some will make you frustrated, and some will genuinely make you question why office romance feels so dangerously exciting on screen. As we go through them one by one, I really want you to think about this. Do you actually like this trope because it's romantic? Or because it's a fantasy most of us would never dare to try in real life? Falling for Innocence, 2015. Let's start with Falling for Innocence, also known as Beating Again. This drama stars Jung Kyung-ho as Min-ho, a cold, ruthless investment banker who honestly starts off as someone you might not even like. He's ambitious, sharp, and not exactly warm. Then there's Kim So-yeon as Kim Soon-jung, a loyal and sincere secretary who works closely with him. What makes this drama interesting isn't just the romance, but the transformation. Min-ho goes through a personality shift that changes the way he sees the world, and especially the way he sees Soon-jung. I personally love when a drama shows emotional growth instead of instant attraction. It makes the romance feel earned. But I'm curious, do you prefer a cold boss who slowly softens, or a green flag CEO from the beginning? Because here, the journey from icy to affectionate is the real highlight, and it adds depth beyond just office flirting. Jugglers. Now let's talk about Jugglers. If Falling for Innocence leans into emotional intensity, Jugglers feels lighter, more playful, and honestly very relatable for anyone who has ever felt overworked. Baek Jin-hee plays a super dedicated secretary who practically lives for her job, while Choi Daniel plays a cold, distant boss who keeps everyone at arm's length. What I appreciate about this drama is how it highlights the actual struggles of being a secretary. It's not all glamorous outfits and romantic tension. It's stress, multitasking, and barely having time for yourself. The romance develops in the middle of that chaos, and that's what makes it sweet. It feels grounded. Watching their relationship evolve made me think about how often we fall for someone simply because we spend so much time together. Do you think proximity creates love or just comfort? Jugglers really plays with that idea in a fun, easy-to-watch way. Strong woman Do Bong-soon takes the boss secretary trope and flips it in the most entertaining way. Park Bo-young plays Do Bong-soon, a woman born with superhuman strength, and Park Hung-sik plays An Min-hyuk, the playful CEO who hires her as his bodyguard, which basically turns her into his personal assistant in many ways. What makes this drama stand out is that the boss isn't the cold, arrogant type. He's expressive, supportive, and openly smitten. I have to say, Min-hyuk is one of the healthiest portrayals of a male lead in this trope. He respects Bong-soon's strength instead of feeling threatened by it. And then you add the serial kidnapping subplot, and suddenly you have romance, comedy, and thriller all mixed together. For me, this drama proves that a boss-secretary romance doesn't have to rely on toxic dynamics to be interesting. Do you agree? Or do you secretly enjoy a little bit of tension and power imbalance in these stories? What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? 2018. Now, we cannot talk about this theme without mentioning What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. This drama is almost the blueprint for modern boss-secretary rom-coms. Park So-joon plays the narcissistic vice chairman who believes he is perfect, and Park Min-young plays the ultra-competent secretary who decides to quit after years of dedication. The entire story kicks off because he cannot function without her. And honestly, that's both romantic and slightly concerning. I remember watching this and thinking, is it cute that he depends on her so much? Or is it a red flag? But as the story unfolds, we see vulnerability, childhood trauma, and emotional healing. The chemistry between the leads is undeniable. And their banter is iconic. This drama really leans into fantasy. The rich, handsome CEO chasing after the secretary who wants to reclaim her life. Let me ask you, if you were Secretary Kim, would you stay or would you walk away for good? Feel Good to Die. 2018. Feel Good to Die takes a completely different approach. Here, the boss isn't charming or secretly soft. He's genuinely terrible at first. Kang Ji-won plays Baek Jin-song, an arrogant and insensitive boss, while Baek Jin-hee plays Lee Ru-da, the frustrated employee who is stuck reliving the same day over and over again because of him. Yes, there's a time loop involved. What I find fascinating about this drama is that the romance isn't immediate or even obvious. It's about change. It's about forcing someone to confront their flaws. And I think this is where the boss secretary trope can either win you over or lose you completely. If the character growth feels real, you root for them. If not, it just feels exhausting. Personally, I enjoyed seeing a toxic boss actually face consequences. But I want to know, would you ever forgive a boss who treated you badly, even if he changed later? The Secret Life of My Secretary, 2019. The Secret Life of My Secretary adds another twist to the formula with face blindness. Kim Young-kwang plays a company executive who suddenly can't recognize faces, except for his secretary, played by Jin Ki-ju. The irony is that he had just fired her. This setup immediately creates tension, humor, and vulnerability. I love when dramas use a unique condition like this, not just for plot convenience, but to explore trust and identity. Because if you can't recognize anyone, the one person you can see clearly becomes incredibly important. The romance here feels softer and more emotional, but there's also corporate rivalry and secrets that keep things interesting. Watching this made me think about how much we take simple things like recognizing a face for granted. And in relationships, how important is it to truly see someone? Not just physically, but emotionally. Her Private Life, 2019. Her Private Life is such a fun entry in this list because it mixes professionalism with fangirl culture. Park Min-young plays Sung Deok-mi, a talented art curator who secretly runs a fan site for her favorite idol. Her boss, Ryan Gold, played by Kim Jae-wook, initially seems cold and intimidating. What I love about this drama is how it celebrates having a passion outside of work. Deok-mi is competent, confident, and unapologetic about what she loves. The romance develops through mutual respect rather than dependency. And Ryan Gold turns out to be far more understanding than expected. This drama feels mature and balanced. It asks an interesting question. Can you truly be yourself at work, especially in front of your boss? I think a lot of us hide parts of ourselves professionally, so seeing a romance grow from honesty and acceptance felt refreshing. Touch Your Heart, 2019. Finally, Touch Your Heart gives us a slightly different dynamic because the secretary is actually a famous actress preparing for a role. Yoo In-na plays Oh-jin Shim, who starts working at a law firm under the cold but principled lawyer Kwon Jung-rok, played by Lee Dong-wook. Their relationship starts off awkward and full of misunderstandings. She's inexperienced, he's strict, and perfectionist. But slowly, they begin to understand each other. This drama feels warm and comforting, almost like a healing romance. It's less about power and more about partnership. I enjoyed how supportive they become of each other's careers and growth. It makes me think that maybe the best boss secretary stories aren't about hierarchy at all, but about two people meeting in the middle. So after going through all 8 of these dramas, I want to ask you something honestly. Why do we keep coming back to this trope? Is it the fantasy of falling in love with someone powerful and successful? Is it the idea of being seen and valued in a workplace where you might otherwise feel invisible? Or is it simply because proximity, tension, and daily interaction make for addictive storytelling? For me, I think it's a mix of fantasy and emotional growth. When done right, these stories show two people evolving because of each other. But when done poorly, they can feel unrealistic or even problematic. Now, I want you to tell me your favorite boss secretary drama and why. And if you had to work closely with your boss every single day, do you think romance would bloom or would it be a total disaster? Let's talk about it.